So now that we've had a chance to review the steps of the skill, think of choices and consequences, we're going to brainstorm some choices and consequences for Shawan and her problem. Can somebody remind and read us the goal that Shawan had in her problem?
Sure. I want to keep my job.
Right. So goals need to be positive and realistic. It's so important that those goals be positive and realistic because we want to make choices and have consequences that are going to help us get to that goal. So we'll pick a choice that is going to lead us to that end. So let's do step 1 of problem solving. Skill 4, think of choices and consequences. Can anyone think of a choice that might help Shawan get to her goal?
Well, she could bitch slap Michelle's and take off.
Okay. Can you write that for us, please, Jen?
Sure, let me see where that chart is.
Maybe somewhere underneath here, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. That's not it. Oh, here it is, okay.
So can you state that one more time, Nancy?
Sure. She can bitch slap Michelle's and take off.
Did you say bitch slap?
I did.
That sounds like a pretty poor choice.
It's a choice.
It's an option that Shawan could take. Okay. Thank you. What are some other choices that Shawan could take? Sure, Sam.
She could offer to let Michelle's look through her purse or other personal belongings to see that there's no money there.
Okay. So she could offer to let her look through her belongings or purse.
You said let Michelle's
Look through her purse. If she does look and she doesn't find it, she's going to feel like, oops, I might have made a mistake here in accusing Shawan. So that would be a negative for Michelle's.
One more.
She
Wes.
could ask to review maybe a videotape.
Okay. Great job, Wes. Thank you.
Like a security videotape?
Yes.
Okay.
These are some really great choices, so thank you all so much. Now, I want you to think
great
back.
choices. The bitch slap, Michelle's.
There are options.
Kind of seems like a little stinking thinking going on there.
Well, luckily we're gonna get a chance to look at consequences in just a little while. But before we get there, I want you all to think about when we talked about social skills in the previous lessons. Are there any social skills that you think might help in any of these choices that we brainstormed for Shawan? Yeah, Wes.
Asking questions.
Asking questions. That's a great one. Sam.
Dealing with an accusation.
Dealing with an accusation.
Responding to anger.
Responding to anger. Those are all great social skills that Shawan might want to include in this problem that she's got going on. So, Jan, would you like to walk the group through step 2, the consequences?
Sure. So now that you have thought of lots of choices, we can consider the possible consequences of these choices. Remember, consequences can be positive or negative. That one. Remember, consequences. You want to consider the two kinds of consequences. Consequences for self, in this situation, Shawan, and consequences for others, other people involved. So what do you think would be a consequence for bitch slap Michelle's and take off? Is that a positive or negative consequence for Shawan?
I think it could be both. Because she'd probably feel better after she slaps her. And she wouldn't be worrying because she'd take off. Yeah, I think she'd feel better.
It sounds like some stinking thinking going on.
She's going to lose her job. But she's going to lose her job, so that makes it negative.
Little of both, sounds
Yeah,
like.
so it's both.
All right, whatever you guys pick, I'll put up there. Both? Okay. How about for others?
Because Michelle's face is going to hurt. But it could be positive. I mean, and for her coworkers, they'd have to pick up her work, so that might be bad.
But she might feel vindicated that she was right.
She might, because she'll
So
be
she
like,
might
see, I
be
knew you
positive
took
that
it.
I got her. She's the one.
That's true. So it is kind of positive and negative. You're
You
right.
sure it's positive?
Yeah, because Michelle's feels vindicated, and if it's a consequence for her,
But it might make Michelle's feel self-righteous. I was right. She was the one. Look at what she did. So, positive and negative, maybe.
That's a great
So I agree
point,
with
Sam
Sam.
and Michelle.
Yes, if you say so. All right. The next one. Let Miss Shells look through her purse.
Well, I think it's positive because it proves her innocence. There's no $50 there, and Miss Shells doesn't have a case. She keeps her job.
Well, that's where it could be negative because I don't know that I'd want anybody going through my purse and seeing all my stuff, even if I didn't do anything wrong.
Does the group feel? I see some head nod and some non-reaction.
I would agree. It's both.
Both.
Both? Okay. How about the choice of review a videotape?
It's a good one. I don't know if we know that for sure, but if she didn't do it, that's a good one.
It might be a negative if she doesn't have a way to access a videotape legally.
A little bit of both?
Okay.
Okay.
So positive and negative. Okay.
Could be negative if the videotape shows someone else taking the money.
True.
Well, great job kind of debating out the consequences of both for Michelle's and also for other people. So now we want to do step 3. And step 3 is to pick a choice. Okay? So we're going to use a process of elimination. Each person gets 1 vote. So you're going to get to vote for one of these 3 choices. But remember that we want to pick a choice that's going to help her get to her goal. And Nancy, you so wonderfully read for us earlier that the choice and the goal that Shawan took is to keep her job, right? So she wants to keep her job. So all of those who think that, number 1, she can bitch slap Miss Shells and take off, raise your hand. Nobody? So it looks like we want to cross that one off. Well, it sounds like it's not going to help get her to where
Not
she
to her
wants
goal,
go,
no.
which is to keep her job. What about number 2? Offer to look through her stuff. Who wants to vote for that one to help her get to her goal? All right, Sam? Anybody else? Okay, so we got 1 vote for that one. Viewing the videotape. Who's voting for that? We got, looks like 4 for that one. Sorry, Sam, but we're just going to use a process of elimination. Both are actually some options that look like they could work, right? So the choice is that, she's going to ask to review the videotape. So since most people voted for that, that's the one that we're going to work with in the next session.